This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
The lineup, the cybernetic tradition, the phenomenological tradition,
the social-cultural tradition and critical tradition.
Authors, no biases allowed. This is ICT News.
Good afternoon.
Cybernetic tradition will influence how we read communication in society and culture because society itself can be seen as a larger system.
We do not communicate the same amount with all others, but we establish pathways, cluster rules that define large social networks of communication.
To discuss the creation of information and influence, here is Anthony Domingo for the report.
Latterfeld hypothesis study conducted by Paul Latterfeld states how media, opinion leaders, friends of communication are much more effective in developing good communication in society.
In addition, opinion leaders may be two kinds: those influential on one topic called monoformic, and those influential on variety of topics called polymorphic. On the other hand, Everett George's diffusion of innovations, which said to be the broadest and most communication-oriented theory, explains how innovation cope with new cultures, if it has rapid or slow coping action, and how society adapts to innovation.
This is Anthony Domingo for IT.
Next in the line is the phenomenological tradition. This tradition explains that communication can be taught by doing interpretation based on personal experiences rather than scientific experiments or surveys. And in this part, it focuses on cultural interpretation as the core of ethnography. To explain other details, here is Fiona Pangkipon for the report.
Cultural interpretation involves trying to understand the actions of group or groups.
Gowertz described cultural interpretation as thick description, in which interpreters describe cultural practices from the native's point of view, contrasted by thin description in which they describe the behavioral pattern with little sense. In cultural interpretation, this hermeneutic circle involves a movement from experience near concepts to experience distant ones. Experience near concepts are those that have meaning to the members of the culture, while experience distant concepts have meaning to outsiders. Ethnographic problems arise when interpreters lack adequate understanding of behavior, and because all interpretations are relies on personal experience, cultural interpretation is truly phenomenological.
Fiona Pangkipon, ICT News. To provide a continuation of the phenomenological, since cultural interpretation is both hermeneutic and social-cultural, here is social-cultural tradition.
An important assumption of theory in this tradition is that society itself is a product of social interaction, in which small and large social structures, relationships, groups, organizations, and institutions are constructed in everyday interaction.
Social-cultural theories assume that social structures influence. For more reports, here is Romina and Pedro. Romina?
Geography of application is indeed application of geographic methods to communication of other groups.
The interpreter attempts to make sense of the forms of communication employed by the members of community or culture. Ethnographers of communication look at: number 1, the forms of communication used by group; number 2, the meanings these communication practices have for the group; number 3, when and where the group members use these practices; number 4, how communication practices create a sense of community; and number 5, the variety of codes used by group. Delheims, as an anthropologist of this tradition, suggests 9 categories that can be used to compare different cultures. Number 1, ways of speaking. Number 2, ideal of the fluent speaker. Number 3, speech communication. Number 4, speech situation. Number 5, speech event. Number 6, speech act. Number 7, components of speech act. Number 8, the rules of speaking in the community. Number 9, the functions of speech in the community. This study illustrates HIMSS categories of comparative ethnography very well. The grouping session is a communication event which consists of a particular types of speech act. It also has rules.
Time for the latest news in town, so stay tuned when ICT News returns.
Ahem. Ahem.
It's okay. Add a little more. Coffee Mate has 0 grams trans fat for coffee that's richer, creamier. For more moments made perfect. From Nestle.
Bro, this is what you call peace and order.
Peace and quiet! Dude, pala kami naman. Lucky Bay! Sweet! Spicy! Huh? Spicy! Spicy! Sweet and spicy! Spicy naman yan! Naman yan! Naman yan!
Uwi na! Uwi na!
We've got a fresh alert, all hard-hitting gossip and new at showbiz business. My name is Lester Caro for your Chica Friend! Narito, una, Chia! Guess what? Ang number sexual, bisexual! Tama, bisexual, may identity crisis. Feeling hard after the loob ng BAJ2A. Ooh! At may niligawan na lumalang di pa ba iba? Eto na, chika number 3. Guess what? Isang lalaking great conscious na over magalit at magwala. Eto na, chika number 4. Guess what? Isang lalaking na may feeling na pagtingin ang actually, hindi ko rin makakit over si Kuya. Narito si Chika Rora, Erika Amonokura.
Dahil naging malakari father at mabuti pa sa kanyang bagong first. Clue number 3, lagi nag-iibig ng puti. Dala pa ang kanilang ref, kaloka, nakakomitan din ang lagi maglabas niya tuwing may klase. Clue number 4, tensionado at camera shy si Kuya. Conscious lagi sa itsura niya at super secretive. We are back for more news. Last topic on our social-cultural tradition is performance and poverty. For the report, we are including Santos.
The anthropologist Victor Turner is best known for bringing our attention to the fact that culture is performed.
Turner sees much in common between theater and everyday culture life. Public performances in a culture are like social dramas, in which group members work out their relationships and ideas. Turner notes the social dramas tend to follow certain processes. The first stage is breach of some kind of a violation or threat to community order. Number 2, followed by crisis as members of community become agitated. And third, remedial procedures. Members of the culture make performances. And fourth, reintegration or restoration of peace. Performance ethnography is significant because it broadens the field beyond its traditional, fixational language and text to include embodied practices. Dwight Conquer Goods' work has been critical to the development of performance ethnography and communication.
Dwight Conquer Good has been critical to the development of ethnography in communication. This is the Lincoln 1 IT.
This move next to performance raises a number of interesting questions. Viewers just explore more details.
Cultural production is existing in their own right, but they have serious personal and societal consequences as we learn from the critical tradition.
Conquer Good works with these following questions. Number 1. Is culture better understood as a verb rather than a noun? Number 2. Is ethnographic fieldwork a joint performance between the researcher and the subject? Number 3. How does performance impact interpretation, and can performance be considered a kind of hermeneutics? Number 4. How should the result of performance ethnography be published, and how should scholarly representation itself make use of performance?
Teachers Castor, IDP.
Last on the line is the critical tradition. All of this with ICT News Record.
JR, nakakalimutan mo ng lola mo. Mga pinsan mo sa States kahit papano, nakakapag-forward ng video sa YouTube. Eh ikaw, ilang ulit na ako nag-super poke sa'yo sa Facebook. Di ka man mag-poke ba? Kakausapin mo lang ako pag may kailangan ka sa computer. Ida-drop kick na kita. Nag-upload na ako ng pics, tignan mo.
Install agad. $899 a month lang. Bayan DSL. Ang dali. Call 449-2000.
Hooray for mornings and things that make them good. Hooray for beaming smiles that make my day. Hooray for stops and goes. Hooray for colors and quick hellos. Hooray for surprises that walk my way. Hooray for friends I'll make. Oh hey, hey. Hooray for treats that make me smile, like magic stripes that fill the sky. Hooray for days that make me say, oh hooray for today.
Modernism is the between modern post and postmodern movement, marks a significant fault line between the critical tradition. The modern version often refers to as structural centered oppressive social structure.
Critical scholars in this group attempt to name and expose this oppressive arrangement.
Marxism under critical tradition, next on ICT News.
Marx believed that society needs a production to determine the structure of that society.
This section is difficult to organize because the critical tradition itself is diffuse and wide-ranging. No scheme is perfect, but the use of 4 general categories of theory has been helpful to us in sorting out this body of work. These categories are: number 1, modernist theories; number 2, postmodernist theories; number 3, post-structuralism; and number 4, post-colonialism.
ICT News.
And that's it for our 30-minute news report. My name is Ivera Pardo.
And I am Regina May M. Francisco, giving the best and unbiased news. All of this in one news program. This has been ICT News.
October 19, 2012. It's 12:30 in the afternoon.
Good afternoon.